Today, Niar Daily Live is sending to you here from Remmem Gård in the beautiful valley Romsdalen. And 3 teams have already passed here and are on their way to the finish line. And some more teams will come in here shortly. With me in the studio, I have, as usual, my sidekick Hans. How are you feeling today, and what have you been up to this morning?
I'm still feeling pretty well, I have to say. I'm learning more and more about this sport, I can say. I figured out that since we're past kind of halfway, my tactics would be not to stop now. It's not more about speed or anything, it's just damage control, don't make any big stops, just keep going all the time.
Keep moving, keep moving.
Is that a good analysis?
Yeah, absolutely. You nailed this. You'll be a good adventure racer.
I don't know, no. I like stopping though.
Okay, yeah, you understand that it's not good, but you like it too much.
No, I was at the transition area when the ladies came in yesterday, and then they were pretty tired. They came in and they were out rafting, kind of seeing stuff that wasn't true, and it was a state of mind that I've never seen this ladies in before. So it was interesting, but at the same time I was like, wow, when do we cross the limit of pushing the limits too far, you know? But they're pushing hard. Yeah,
it gets a little scary, but it also gets hilarious. They made some really funny things in that transition area.
Yeah, I mean, coming in, they were just like walking slowly and just talking, and I mean, they're always laughing. That's the good thing. Then I feel kind of comfortable with it, but it's still, they talk about stuff that doesn't really make any sense, you know, and it's just, yeah, it's kind of like they're on some kind of drug or something.
But they seem to understand each other.
They do, yeah.
They're on the same drug.
Even though there's like a different language than normal, they do understand each other.
So Holiday Club is on their way here to this TA with some other teams. They are all equally as tired, but to enter this valley they're gonna have to come down a pretty steep cliff wall. Let's have a look at that. So they're coming down all the way from the top, and you were eager to try it out?
No, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I haven't seen the path, but to me what I heard that they only have like a safety rope to hold on to, and that they don't have any real security fixed gear.
Exactly.
That
they're walking down a trail, and we can see it from here, and our viewers, you can probably not see it either, but they're gonna have some help from some ropes, but somewhere on this wall there's a trail. And it's gonna be interesting how the teams that are in a lot of pain is gonna manage this.
Time-wise, we're talking 2.5, 3 hours.
On the wall?
On the wall?
Yeah, I'd say so, but that's just a rough guess.
I mean, I'm looking at the teams walking into the transition areas yesterday. This could be a real challenge. They could barely walk.
How did it look when they walked in?
Yeah, like grown-up babies, you know, like just learned how to walk. They're like, oh, and I don't know, walking down there, to me, in their condition, it
takes a little more skill than a newborn baby.
It does, yeah. No, but I mean, to be a little bit serious about it, it's a challenge for them in the conditions they are now.
Yeah. It's absolutely a challenge. It would be a challenge if you were in a normal
state of mind, yeah, absolutely.
But as we talked about before, this sport is a lot about skills, and you have them and you learn them through racing.
It's about skills and pushing the limits.
Yeah.
So
we're gonna take a short brief on the course from where we left you yesterday all the way this time to the finish.
morning at the breakfast, they kind of had a set down meeting, quick having breakfast, and then they went through like new tactics. Okay, from now on we're not going to have any help anymore, we're going to make the entire course. And what we can see so far, they've been doing a good job. I mean, the biking now is pretty good speed all the time, and they're not stopping that much, so I can see a new kind of mindset on the women's team there.
Yeah, I think they took a decision and learned something in the last TA, which they are now using at this leg.
Absolutely. I mean, the trekking before that was also good, and now I think they're impressing me.
Yeah,
really.
They did a good trekking. They had some troubles with pain, which slowed them down at the end, but the speed at the first section of the trek was, they were really
And then I mean the transition
it.
areas, that's their main thing. They need to shorten that interval. If you look at the other teams, they're coming in looking like zombies more or less. And then because when I think it was the Canadian team, they came in and they couldn't even talk, and then I was like, oh my god, they're gonna pull out of the race like in half an hour. But then the woman, she went into the toilet and like had her feet high up and had some warm air blown to them, and then they were on the bikes and an hour later, and I was like, really? I was so sure they were gonna pull out of the race. So I mean, that's a thing that they need to learn in the Team Holiday Club team, to know where the limit is and handle it.
Coming into the transition area at this stage of the race, we are 4 days in. A quick transition is about 45 minutes, but is
that a world class or is it a good transition?
No, that is a world class.
Okay.
Absolutely, and a good transition will be about an hour. Most teams we've seen so far have been around that, but I think the girls, they set a new world record.
They did, yeah. I mean, they came in, but they were tired. I mean, they were hallucinating and everything. So, and looking at their speed now, it was maybe a fairly okay decision, but they stopped, I think, 6.5 hours in the transition area.
But it might not be the wrong decision. As you say, they are now increasing their speed, and it's thanks to resetting mind, resetting bodies, some sleep, and some good team talk.
Yeah, and I mean, we need to remember they're only passing halfway, so it's still quite a few days to go.
Yeah, let's hit the course and see what all the teams are up to. That was the recap from yesterday, and as you can see, it's been both about action and more about determination and step by step. And that continues for today, and we're gonna keep looking for the teams, and we're gonna join them in their pain and in their hallucinations. Yeah, the spectacular views continues for sure. Norway has a lot to offer.
Yeah, this is a one-of-a-kind landscape up here. I mean, I've been here in the winter many years ago, but this is, in the summer, it's extraordinary.
And the good weather we had yesterday, and we were talking about the teams being very happy about it, it continues, and you can see a mental change. Though it was a very cold night and teams coming out of this rafting session was still freezing.
Yeah, some of the teams were really suffering from the coldness coming out of the water. I mean, the big river and the big streams uphill was one of the first thing, and then they got all soaked up by water. So then they had at least 2 hours after that in the boat, night time.
Yes, and when you come into this state where you haven't slept for 4 days and nights, you lack energy, you have eaten less than you need, the body is starting to shut down a bit, and it's not only about the environment being cold, it's also about the body not being able to deliver what they need.
Yeah, do we have any temperature on the water? It can't be more than 10 degrees, right?
You tried it out yesterday.
Yeah, but that was further down in the valley. That's higher up, and I guess the higher up you come, closer to the snow, it's probably colder.
Yeah, maybe it heats up a little, but I think it's the same water coming down.
Yeah. So around 10 degrees, I would say then.
She looks pretty happy coming up here.
Amazing, that was so much fun, and it was lovely to sit down and be off the feet. So yeah, no, it's all going well. Really good, loving it. Can't wait to head that direction on the bike.
How is it to get that kind of fun just thrown in the middle of the race?
Oh, do you know, it makes the difference because it kind of gets a bit monotonous with all the hiking and then the biking and then the hiking and the biking, and then to have something like that is brilliant. And now I'm all ready to get dry and a bit cold, so warm and get on the bike. Yeah, it's good.
How is racing going for you?
It's slowed down from the race back.
Brutal.
Yeah, I'm so much pain. It's different than Kuwait. The cold, the mountains, and the legs are so long. So long. Yeah, but we'll make it. Yeah, hopefully. Just need to fix my feet and all the problems I have.
How's your feet?
I'm gonna check now, but very bad.
We were paddling in the rafting. I was paddling, and then all of a sudden I was like, "Is that the Kuwait team?" I'm like, "Yeah, look us, it's the Kuwait team, and they're in their bike gear already." And I was like looking at the rock, and I'm like, "Yeah, there are 4 of them, the whole team." And then it's like, "Oh my God, I'm hallucinating." And I don't know why I saw you guys there, but it was nice to see you there.
Good.
But it's even better to see you now.
Good that they made you company.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a long track. But it's good. The rafts just made it easy, you know? Oh man. I think we fell asleep when we tried to push it. Oh, it's cold.
I thought you said the gators would keep you warm.
I stopped paddling on it because I fell asleep. And then you're like, what?
That happens.
We should have dropped this one.
Just put it over here.
So it's Team Canada looking really strong, walking towards the bikes. Good old Chad here, walking like a true champion. How are we feeling?
Frozen.
Frozen?
Yep.
Legs? Everything? Everything?
Yep.
How's the rafting? Was it just cold or?
Just cold. Just fun now. Not too long.
So what's your plan with the feet now? Are you going to try to dry them out or?
Yep, dry them out. Put the band-aids on. For the best.
How are they feeling? Are they sore or are they just blisters and? Oh yeah. Nice, good stuff.
Both of you are like that? Toenail? Toenail?
Use some love on those ones.
Oh yeah. That won't help.
And it's up, or do you feel here? Pain? So it hurts when I walk?
Yeah.
if I try and
And you do it like that? Yeah.
up and down like this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You still are feeling like here in the foot?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ska vi ringa varandra och dubbelkolla?
Ja, du kan ju bara...
Out your feet.
In pain. I can't go up. Thank you.
How was that? First time?
Amazing. Lots of fun. Lots
Enjoyed
of fun, yeah.
That's awesome.
Alright, do you want to know the weirdest thing about that?
Tell me.
It makes me want to race.
Really? Like when I see the lady, because I looked at she's a part of the Canadian team, right? Yeah. When I saw those feats, that was the absolute worst thing I ever seen in sports live, with not even pulling out of the race. So
I think that's what drives me to dig that deep.
yeah, but then like an hour later, she was all good. That was just the most interesting part, I would say.
And here is a team coming in, and I actually think we'll have a look. It's the French team Tuck 3, and they were also in a lot of pain when they left, and here they are already. They made it down the wall, and we're gonna try to see if we can have a talk with them, if they are up for a little chat.
Yeah, she's limping kind of hard.
Yeah, she was limping when I saw her already 36 hours ago.
Well, that's a great job taking this wall down, and then before that a trek of, is it 10 hours?
Yeah.
Wow.
And everything is about how you make this as a team. When someone in the teams are hurting that much, it also takes a lot on toll on the others, because they're gonna have to step up, they're gonna have to carry, but they're also gonna have to share this person up.
So what is the most common thing you do when someone is like hurting that much? Do you take their equipment, or how do you help them?
Yeah, that's first thing, is taking their equipment and making it easier for them. But also it's a lot about keep taking care of yourself, and when you're hurting you tend to focus a lot on the pain.
Yeah.
And what you need to do is keep eating and keep drinking and stuff like that. So then you also need to keep track of this person. Is they taking care of themselves? Is it sunny? They don't put on sunscreen because all they can think about is the knee.
Okay, yeah.
So you need to monitor them a little more.
Okay.
So that's one thing. We'll applaud you and welcome you right into a live show. Can we have a brief chat with anyone? You are in a lot of pain.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
It was a nightmare on the wall.
Yeah, just the end of the section was a nightmare.
But you made it.
Yeah.
Was it a nightmare due to the pain, or just it's very exposed?
Yeah, and very long, and the section was long too, but very beautiful, and then there was nothing to enjoy at the end. So I need rest.
You're gonna have some rest. I'm gonna talk a bit to your navigator as well. Has the navigation been on this section?
I think it was okay, and hopefully it was okay. We expected it would be a very difficult section, very difficult leg, and it was actually, but I think that's good because we keep a good team spirit, and we really supported ourselves, and that's great. I think we have to keep going like this. We have to rest here, and yeah, really difficult section for us, sure.
All the teams have found this difficult, and we can only see a little brief thing about it. And you made it through, and gonna get some rest. how much do you focus already out there on the next section, or is it just to come here?
No, I think, well, at the beginning of the leg we were like trying to do the backraft before night, and during the leg we were like just going to the end of the leg. It will be fine. I think now we will just discuss, have a rest, and let's see. Maybe if backraft at night it's not an issue. Yeah.
How long rest will you take? Have you decided yet?
No, not yet.
All right, I'm gonna let you get the rest you deserve and see you at the finish line. Well done for now.
Thank you.
So the teams are actually really tired by now, and this section was a hard one.
Yeah, what did you say? I couldn't really hear what she was saying. She didn't seem too happy though.
She wasn't too happy. She was barely keeping it together, and it always feels a little tough to go close up and interview. But what I think was that it was a little longer than they expected, and they're starting to get really tired mentally. So she said that it was boring. It was never ending. It was a tough section. She repeated that it was tough, and yeah, she was not happy about it.
She was not in the mood for an interview.
Yeah, no, but I'm so happy that she gave us some time and some words of her, because that really shows, like, we can only tell about what we've seen, but to actually give you the possibility to meet the teams is really good, and because you can see in her eyes and you can hear her voice that
she had enough.
Yeah, but
that's
you know, they had enough, but they're gonna keep going.
That's the thing. I mean, I've seen it so many times now. You think, okay, it's over, they're done, it's KO, it's done. But then in an hour they get some food, lay down, and then they rise up and they keep going. It's just, I'm amazed of that procedure, the human body, how much it can take.
Yeah, and it's amazing how just a very short rest will make you feel so much better, and just switching the mental from this endless trek where you kind of get into state where you think it won't finish. There is no end to this. And then you end up here and you are totally destroyed, and they're not gonna rest more than 2 hours.
So is there a magical limit of the resting? Is it like 2 hours, then is there a big difference between 2 hours and 4 hours? Or is it just 2 hours is good enough and then it doesn't make that much of a difference afterwards?
It does, especially if you're in pain or if you're sick. If the team is functional with those kind of things, the normal sleep hours are 2 hours. Maybe 1.5 or 2, because then you sleep a whole sleeping cycle. If you go shorter than that, it's not really gonna benefit you. Then you can go all the way to just one little brief power nap, so 15
then
minutes.
It's 15 minutes
or 2 hours.
Or 2 hours, okay.
Yeah, that's the normal way. Most teams do it. Then we have some teams like the top teams in the world. Some of them sleep very little, which is their strategy. We have Colombia with the ride. It's an American team. They move very steady on the court. They're not the fastest team, but they can manage very little sleep. And then we have the absolutely top team in the world, Avaya. They kind of move very fast in the beginning, and then they get a gap, so they can use the gap for sleeping. And the more they sleep, the faster they are in comparison to the rest of the field.
There's many different ways of being fast, so to say.
Yeah.
From start to finish, not fast on the course, but fast from start to finish.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's what counts. That's how you're gonna win it, or just make it, or make it on full course if that's your goal. And these guys are chasing the podium. I don't know how big the gap is actually, but the thing is, it's so much more to go. We expect the winners to finish tomorrow morning, but from them it's a big gap down, and for them to claim third is absolutely not impossible. One little mistake now can be lead to very big time frames because a little mistake is not an easy fix anymore. A navigational mistake can take a long time to go back on, or anything like that can happen.
Of the different stages we have still to go, or for this team, is the navigation a big part of that, or is it more just durability, or just keep going?
The navigation is definitely a big part of the end of a race, because that's when things get really complicated for the navigator. They are as tired as the rest of the teams, and when you get sleepy, I think you can benefit a bit by being a navigator, because you can check the map and keep focus on something. But when you get this blurry and gonna keep thinking straight, it's really tough.
She was bored during this stage. She had
absolutely, and she's one of the navigators, so probably. I think we want to go back to more of the course. So let's see where we left the course to join this team. We're actually joining Holiday Club on their trek this night, and as we spoke about earlier, it's about taking care of each other in the team, and as you can see, they really listen to that, and that's what they're doing.
That's beautiful pictures. I'm not only talking about the scenery, but the team spirit, you know, massaging each other, and you can see Maria with her ankle high up. She sprained her ankle because she was looking at the mountain. It was so beautiful that she took a wrong step and sprained the ankle, but it's under control, what I heard.
Yeah, she took away the tape in the last TA and said it was feeling better, definitely. But there was an unfortunate happening with looking at the views and getting injured.
But if you look at these pictures, I mean, as soon as they get going, they're pretty fast.
They truly are. It was about the stopping.
On our way into Innerdalen, and can we get an update from Team Holiday Club?
Sunscreen mode.
Energy?
High.
Feeling good.
High and low, high at the moment.
Perfect.
We were talking about the feet a lot already the first day, and there was a lot of the contenders being very scared and feeling, but they take care of them, and we like what we see.
Snow patch on the mountain, which is quite a nice change of colour. And there come the guys now. With the view behind where they've all come from.
This team from Australia, Hard Days and Nights, have the benefit of having a doctor in their team. He's actually helped me on a race where I had a really bad stomach bug, and he prescribed me some medicine from their first aid kit.
Yeah, that's a big benefit.
They have an enormous bag of medicines with them.
Oh, they do? Yeah, I mean, I like the way one of the guys in the Swedish Armed Forces said in the beginning of the race that light is always right.
Yeah.
Just to have as little stuff as possible.
Yeah, but some stuff is good to have, but they were taking away tick, and I think that was news for them. And we actually talked about this before the race with the staff about ticks, and we had to inform all the teams a lot about it because it's so different from other countries and other dangerous animals we meet out there on the races.
Yeah. It's just tough conditions. Wet. Oh.
They keep going, and as you can see, it's not very fast, but
I mean, looking at this, I'm like, yeah, they're not too fast, but then, I mean, you gotta remember it's on the third day now.
exactly.
They've been going for 3 days.
4 days.
4 days, yeah, 4 days. That's just
We're
out
at
of control.
4 days.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is what it's all about, to endure, to dig deep and keep going. As you said earlier with the holiday club, they were taking care of each other, and it makes me really happy to see that kind of team spirit. What a live show with teams coming in right into our show, and we really hoped for that, but it's always hard to predict when they're gonna come down from a wall like that. This day was full of emotions, full of pain.
Yeah, I mean, it's only getting, I don't know if I'm going to use the word worse, but it's getting tougher and tougher, at least for the team. And I mean, you can see that on the faces, they're sitting there over the grass, and they're like, the smiles are getting a little bit smaller for each day that passes, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely. But what's also happening that we might see at times, we saw that with Miranda in the transition, talking about her hallucinations. The smiles get smaller, and they get more into pain, and we've seen some racers also sad, crying, but you also get the hardest laughs because all the emotions are on the outside at this point.
Yeah.
It's like a filter you have in the everyday life that's taken away, and that's what's the really big experience of adventure racing.
That was kind of a nice situation in the morning breakfast session they had when Pernilla, the team leader of the Team Holiday Club, she had a little motivational speech, you know. At the meantime they had breakfast, and like all the other 3 girls like almost started crying, you know, and like you could really feel the emotions on the breakfast table. It was nice. It was good stuff.
Yeah. All emotions and everything will keep going. We will get back to you live tomorrow at 6, and that's from the finish line with the winning team with us.